In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Jeremy and Corrie are with us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good to have you guys. Where do you live?
We live in Marietta, Georgia.
Oh, the Atlanta area.
Yes.
Okay, well, welcome to Nashville. Good to have you. And you're here to do your debt-free scream.
We are.
Cool. Now, who'd you bring with you? The kiddos here. Names and ages.
We've got Anya, who's 12, Maddie, who's 9, and Breck is 17.
All right. Very cool. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $192,000.
Whoa! How long did this take you?
19 months.
19 months. And making what kind of money during this time?
Well, Dave, I'm self-employed. In 2014, I made $360 taxable income, and this year will be $470 or so.
Awesome. Good for you. What kind of business have you got?
CPA.
Good for you. Way to go, man. Killing it. And the 192, what kind of debt was this?
Well, we were pretty normal. We had a little bit of everything. We had lots of credit cards, 2 cars, a student loan, and a really awesome personal loan.
And he's a freaking CPA.
CPAs are all about debt.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was picking on him. I love it.
We like leverage.
Congratulations, you guys. So you paid off everything.
Yes, everything.
That's a lot of debt in just 19 months.
It was a ton of debt.
It's amazing. So tell me the story. What happened 19 months ago?
Well, it really started more than 19 months ago. About 3 years ago, I found Financial Peace, the book, on our bookshelf upstairs and didn't even know that we had it. I read it, thought it was a really great idea to get out of debt. And I mentioned it to Jeremy and he was kind of like, whatever, I don't know, that seems pretty lame. And so I sort of started it, kind of dragging him. He really wasn't into it. And then 19 months ago, he had an opportunity to buy into his partnership, which was going to cost us about $130,000, which of course we didn't have. And so he said, well, we got to take out a loan for $100,000 so that I can buy into this partnership. And we had the biggest fight we'd ever had before in our entire lives, to the point where he thought we were probably going to get divorced. And I almost threw him in a fire pit. And then... So he went and took out...
It's a big fight. You get thrown in a fire pit.
Yeah, it was bad. He went and took out the loan, and I signed us up for Financial Peace. So I said, we're going to Financial Peace. He said, this sucks, but fine. We walk into the first class, and they tell us, don't take out any debt while you're in this class. And I think the day before, he had signed the papers on the loan.
Sure.
Yeah. So we went through the class, and for the first 7 months, he really wasn't into it. He went and he listened, but it wasn't really his thing. And so it was really hard to kind of get him on board and to get him working with me. And about 7 months into it, I told him he had to go to Entree Leadership, that I thought it would be just a great fit for him. And he did. And he came home and was like totally fired up, gung-ho. That's exactly what he needed, was the business perspective.
Okay.
And came home. And so then in the last 12 months, we like really kicked it off, kicked it into high gear, and got it all done.
So, Jeremy, which Entree Leadership did you go to? The 1 day?
No, it's the 3-day.
The 3 day?
Yep.
Okay, up here?
Yeah, up here last September.
Okay,
September
with
14th.
Chris Hogan and those guys?
Yep.
Okay.
And Chris is the one that actually got me fired up. So
Okay, all right.
You did good.
Very cool, very cool. So what was different about the Entree Leadership that flipped a switch in your brain that was different than FPU? That's interesting.
Well, a couple of things. Hearing other business owners talk about their struggles, and some of them were invested in it, some of them weren't. And then, the one that really got me was when Chris talked about walking into a car dealership with a briefcase full of cash. And I was like, man, I want to do that. That's cool. And we can do that. And so I called Corrie right after that session. I'm like, all right, I'm in. We're doing it. And we did. We really kicked it in high gear then. And it was both of us then, not just her.
Corrie, how'd you feel when he made that phone call to you?
Oh my gosh, it was like the best phone call I could have ever gotten, because I had been trying to get him to do this.
You were glad you didn't throw him in the fire pit.
Oh yeah, really glad.
Someday she regrets it probably.
Really happy then, so.
That's awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
So you come home from that, and it goes into overdrive then.
Absolutely.
And because you got a great income. I mean, you got a big shovel. And you had a big hole you were in, but so the 192 includes this partnership loan.
It did.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So more than half of it was that. All right. Wow. And you clear it all up in 19 months.
Yep.
Now, how long have you two been married?
15 years.
15 years. Have you ever been debt-free while you were married?
Nope.
Nope, not until now.
Yep.
How's
Pretty
it
awesome.
How's it feel?
It's so great. And it's so funny because like we live in a 100-year-old home. And so, things can go wrong all the time. Well, nothing went wrong. Like through this whole process, we were just like, oh, this is great. Our house isn't breaking, right? And then we get out of debt and have the month of October, that we got out of debt in September, got out in the month of October, we put a bunch of money towards our emergency fund. And then November, it was like the sky fell out and every single thing that could have gone wrong with our house did. It was like God was just holding on to everything that was going to go wrong until we could actually pay cash for it all.
Ready for it, yeah.
Yeah, and so we had to put a new roof on our house. We had to do all kinds of stuff, and we had the money, and it was just so awesome to be able to just do what we needed to do.
Absolutely awesome, guys. So what do you tell people the secret to getting out of debt is?
I mean, from my perspective, it's to stick to the plan. You lay out a very good plan, the baby steps. I mean, they're painful for a person like me that has big income, and then I can't spend any. I got really upset about that a lot. But, I mean, in hindsight, sticking to the plan, it worked. I wish we had stuck to it earlier. There's a lot of principles in it that are good. And I appreciate what you do for all of us.
I appreciate that. Very nice. Well, what about you, Corrie? What do you see the secret to getting out of debt is?
I really think it's two things. It's one, using cash and just being committed to cash. It's really fun, and it was fun with them, showing them, here's the envelope, and we're going to the grocery store. But the other, I think the biggest part really is contentment and understanding that even when you are a high income earner, that, $20 still does matter. Going in and spending $20 at Target, which adds up to $100 really fast, it matters, and we're just like everybody else, and we have to watch it just like everyone else, and be content with clothes and things like that, and just normal living things, and just be happy.
I really appreciate y'all being real about your disconnect and the fights that led into this, and as you go along, because that's what really happens in the real world. I mean, everybody comes on here, not everybody, but sometimes people come on here and they act like it's all like, we're Ken and Barbie and we never fight. That's a bunch of crap, man. People do. They want to throw somebody in a fire pit. That's the real world. It really is. And so thank you for doing that, and for coming clean on that and just talking about it, because it makes your story believable, and because you really did do that. Jeremy, I'm a hard head like you are. I mean, I always assume that somebody's selling something, they got something to sell, and they got something in the game, and you're like, I have my shields up all the time for stuff like that, and so I probably would have taken the exact same path you took. Talk to that guy that's like you or like me that's out there for a minute that's got their shields up.
I got to say, it's you can't see it till you live it necessarily, but being debt free and being the wage earner in the home, or the primary wage earner, and the stress that has come off of me in the last 3 months of providing for my family, and knowing that I don't have $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month in debt payments. That has changed, I think, the way I am at work, the way I am at home, the way Corrie and I are together, because I feel free and I'm not trapped anymore. There's no bondage anymore. And that's the thing. You have to, anybody that's in that much debt has to look at it and think about the freedom at the end, and it's there.
Ding, ding. Well said, brother. Love it. All right, Jeremy, Corrie, Breck, Anya, I messed up your name. I was going to mess it up. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Maddie, everybody's here from Marietta, Georgia. $192,000 paid off in 19 months, making $360 to $420. Big income, but paid off a ton of debt in a short period of time. Count it down. Let's hear your debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Love it! Yeah, baby! That's how it's done. You know why most people don't win? They don't bother. You have to bother. You have to be intentional. Never again is American Express going to call my house and ask my wife why she would stay with a man that won't pay his bills.